What's cracking, people? It's your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, representing high-level technicians operating globally and beyond. So listen, today I wanted to cover a topic that I thought was covered before. I was going back through my catalog of podcasts and videos, and it's interesting when we talk about the select man. We talk about the differences between the characteristics and the elements of masculine mastery and how it plays itself out, not only in the relationships that we manage in our professional, in our academic, in our leisure and social lives, but also in the relationships that we maintain with women. And when I thought about these 5 words that come so naturally, that come so, I want to say effortlessly, but there's effort. The effort is in your self-development and what you've invested in becoming the best version of yourself, or the masculine master that makes up the select man. But these 5 words that I'm going to relate to you today come out almost effortlessly from the woman that you have been interacting with and engaging with at a level that only, in my opinion, select men can engage. Now, what are those words? Well, let's think about some 5-word combinations that a lot of men have received from women in their lives. Words like, not tonight, it's my time, or till death do us part, or even, I'm not in the mood. A lot of men have received these words. I've received these words, when I was younger, and when I did not have the path that I have now. I didn't have, obviously, hindsight is 2020. I wish that I had the opportunity to have the coaches and the mentors and the master teachers that we have in this space today. This is a wonderful time that we exist in. I put a post over on my Patreon the other week about how this is currently the golden age for content creation, but that's another conversation for another day. A lot of us, if not all of us, have heard those words when we talk about interacting with women on a certain level. And I would say that pre-select men and non-select men tend to hear those words quite often. And it's not a diss. I don't mean that in a disrespectful manner. We're all here for growth. We're all here to develop ourselves. We're all here on the same path towards masculine mastery. So it's okay to admit when we have experienced something that isn't what our end goal is, okay? Much is debated about male and female dynamics and what the goal of having a woman in your world is in the first place. A lot of men tend to think that the end game is marriage, or the end game is legacy, or children, or whatever it is that you could come up with that is probably written somewhere in a Hallmark greeting card. But at the end of the day, we have to be honest about what happens in those quiet spaces when you're interacting or engaging with a woman's true self. Remember, I did the video about a woman's marketing rep and her sex rep. I'll try to link that one down below. But men can be quite driven when courting and keeping a woman satisfied in his presence. And let's be honest, there's so many things that go into getting to the true person underneath the combination of a woman's natural defense, right, and the mask that the society has people, and in particular women, wear just so that they can navigate through the modern space, and also a woman's fear of being vulnerable. And what the result is that depending on the circumstance and nature of the man and woman's relationship, a woman will display signs of appreciation, signs of enjoyment, and signs of contentment. I mean, the guy could be, doing all the quote unquote right things that society has shown him, and that people before him have shown him, and that his mom and sisters have shown him that, women like bringing her flowers, pull the chair out from underneath her, open the door, let her walk in, pump the gas, do this and that and the third. But is he really getting to her soul? And what do I mean by that? Well, when I tell you these 5 words that let you know that you have her soul, then that will be self-explanatory. So when we think about all of the external things that society tells us to do as men in order to reach that point, reach that connection, to reach that bond that is so elusive, that so many books have been written about, so many talk shows have been attempting to address and to discuss, it can be confusing. It can be infuriating. And the truth is, a lot of YouTube and a lot of the manosphere in particular is committed to that frustration, is committed to attempting to unpack what led up to whatever disillusioned reality a man comes to when he realizes that he was not talking to the real woman behind her representatives. He was not interacting with the real woman under the mask that society has her conform to in order to navigate the space. He's not connecting to that real person behind all of the defensive posturing and the manipulation and the games and the going to and from and the chasing and all of these things that are spoken about and have been observed as characteristics and traits and reactions and responses that women put out that only further confuse most men, that only further exacerbate situations, that only further widen the gap in communication between the language of men and the language of women. So let me tell you, in my experience, and I know that a lot of select men can relate to what I'm about to say, when you present the elements that cut through all of those barriers, let's just call them barriers, that I discussed just now, when you present a healthy, well-maintained, fit, and presentable body, when you present a developed charisma, a personality that shows your character, that shows your balance, your relatability while still maintaining an edge and an air of mystery. When you present your masculinity, your unapologetic masculinity, that cuts through those barriers. That shows her that she's dealing with someone who gets it. She's dealing with a man who understands that natural place and that natural interaction between the masculine and the feminine. And let me tell you, as a man who has trained men, who does train men to unlock those barriers and to present himself, even if it's just in an exotic entertainment capacity, when you get a woman focused on your presentation, when you are in that space and you're stirring up her natural desires, when you're not placating to her, when you're not necessarily catering to what society's idea of a man should be, but you're embracing what it truly means to be a man, and you're focused on her, and she's looking directly at you, the person who you really are, and you've got her in this position, and you're about to get at it. You've got her stirred up. The mood is just right. Everything is set up just the way it should be, and you're getting ready to get it in and exchange energy on a primal level, that is when she mouths these 5 words. Man, do as thy will. Understand that in that moment, you have her soul. You have full permission to proceed in your mission. She has given you the will and authority to take the reins of all that she is. And in that moment, you are shown the true value of the most precious gift that every man is naturally born with, and that is his masculinity. And those are the 5 words that let you know that you have her soul. As always, this is your man Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying stay sharp and mission focused. Later.